Glenn Greenwald, the Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative journalist who writes for Substack, joins me now. So, Glenn, how do you think the media is grappling with the rough shape of the country and Joe Biden's deterioration?
You know, I think you have to go back to 2016. I know it seems like several lifetimes ago to understand the context where the Democrats lost an election they never expected to lose. They basically lost to a reality TV show host when Hillary Clinton had all the backing of the establishment in the world. And instead of asking, what is it about our ideology that ruled the country for 8 years that drove people away from us into Donald Trump's arms, they instead decided they were going to blame everybody else, Russia and WikiLeaks and Jill Stein, whoever they could find, everyone but themselves. And they catastrophized everything, saying Trump and the Republicans mean that Putin is now in control of the White House. And, you know, when Trump ran for re-election, he had everything against him, COVID and the economy. He almost won, but he didn't. And the Democrats simply replaced Trump with the same ideology that they governed with for 8 years under Obama that caused people to run away from them as fast as they could. And now that people are doing that again, instead of asking why is that happening, they're getting poised to blame the electorate for being stupid, for thinking the economy is bad when it's actually good. And ultimately, they'll just say they were too racist to vote for Democrats.
It's a really smart point you just made about them kind of going back to that Obama, Clinton mindset, where, you know, free trade agreements everywhere, foreign intervention everywhere, kind of mishandling energy policy and turning a blind eye to the border and crime. That's what gave us Donald Trump. And now they've gone back and done the same thing. And when they've screwed up, they've now said it's because everybody's racist. Oh, and January 6th. And you're not really suffering. You just have brain fog because of long COVID. They just keep repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again. Do you think anything that they've tried so far will work this summer?
You know, we can use our experience we have in our personal lives. If somebody continues to fail but never self-reflects and asks what it is that they're doing that causes their failure, they just blame everybody else, you know that person will continue to fail. I think that's exactly what has happened with the Democratic Party. You describe their ideology, which is neoliberalism, globalism, militarism, that deindustrialized towns, that caused the ordinary American to suffer while the global elite continue to prosper. And that's the same ideology. Biden was part of that administration for 8 years that led to Donald Trump. And they replaced the same ideology with the one that failed already. And they're practicing the same, but this time with the media fully on board, of saying we're never going to accept blame ourselves. We're going to blame everybody else, in particular the Americans who are too dumb or too racist to vote for us. And this is what the media is basically priming them to think, is that if you think things are going bad, it's because you're too dumb to understand your own lives. And if you vote for Republicans, it's because either you don't care about racism or you don't care about fascism. And I don't think people are going to be persuaded by that when they're looking at the reality of their own lives.
The country is moving in the middle, right? And you've described it. We're getting away from what the Republican Party used to be. We're getting away from what the Democratic Party used to be. It's kind of a common sense ideology where you just want public safety, right? You want the goods and services that your tax dollars went to give you what you expect. You know, you want clean streets, you want safe streets, you want clean drinking water, and you just want the government to get out of the way and have you have a little bit more money than you had last year, so your kids could have a little bit of a better life than you had. It's kind of simple when you think about it. Why do you think the politicians, and I could say this maybe on either side, have not really laser focused in on what the country's screaming for, which is competence and deliverables?
I think the way Washington works is it breeds this very insulated system where people, even who arrive there with good intentions, who want to kind of change the system, end up captive to it. They spend most of their time dealing with their corporate donors who demand from them a certain set of policies that don't serve the rest of the country. They end up pressured by the internal workings of Washington to do things like endorse a war package of $40 billion 10 weeks into a war in Ukraine and not even allowing anyone except a few dozen Republicans, which I think is incredibly notable and interesting. Only a few dozen Republicans are saying, where is this $40 billion going and how is it benefiting Americans? And they have this system that constantly reinforces a set of incentives for them to ignore their voters at home and to serve a tiny group of people in special interest. And then come election time, they're very confused as to why so many people are dissatisfied, really, with the establishment wings of both parties and the political system itself.
We send them weapons and Europe sends us baby formula. And then everybody pats themselves on the back and says, good job. Glenn Greenwald, as always, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jesse.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.